Hi everyone, it's Mike here. I thought I would do something a little different today. Normally, when I get home from the Beaver Pond, I pick my favorite video of the night and share that. But this night, I decided I would merge together all of the videos that I took at the Beaver Pond so that you can enjoy a Friday evening at the Beaver Pond basically in the exact same way I did. I promise I won't talk for the entire 30 minutes. I'll give it the setup here and then I'll stop talking at times so you can just enjoy the beavers. The first video of the night was Mama Beaver came over and started grazing on the green grass at her favorite corner. She loves to eat in this corner. So fortunately, my tripod was set up there and I was able to just let her rip. For your information, all of this took place starting about half an hour before sunset. So the video will take us through the last bit of light into the twilight, and at the end you'll see it's almost dark. At this point, Mama Beaver took a couple little twigs and started heading back to the lodge. And fortunately, she passed another beaver on her way back, and I was able to watch and see if that beaver did anything interesting. After floating in the middle of the pond for 2 or 3 minutes, which I didn't record, the next beaver started swimming over to the same corner of the pond that Mama Beaver had been in, so I was quite glad I had stayed put with my tripod. So I'm just going to now stop talking and let you watch as this younger beaver sniffs around looking for something to eat. If you haven't turned the sound down because you're tired of my voice, you're probably going to hear the occasional click, click, click of a camera. My buddy Edgar, who is a very regular visitor to the pond, was only a few feet away from me this evening. We usually sit and chat and talk about beavers while we're waiting for them to come out, so he's very close to me taking pictures the whole time, so you'll definitely hear the click of his camera throughout the video. We were lucky enough here that this little beaver was looking in our direction while he chewed, so we got that flash of orange teeth for a few seconds there that I always enjoy capturing on camera. It may be obvious to you all, but if you haven't been to the pond and don't know the layout, that's actually the dam that they built that this beaver is standing on now. It's quite an impressive structure, and obviously it's just incredible that a couple of little furry creatures were able to move all the wood, rocks, and mud necessary to build a huge dam. Here comes one of the siblings zipping over to see what his brother or sister is up to. Often they come over and see if there's any food that the person is willing to share, but for the most part, these beavers don't share their food very often. Unless they have something really large, everyone sort of fends for themselves. I always keep the camera rolling when one approaches because you never know when there might be a little spat, a little shoving match, or they might groom each other. So there's always potential for excitement when there's two beavers getting together, but in this case, he just swam over, said hello, and kept moving. It's actually very serene and beautiful just to watch these beavers float around in the pond. Even when there's nothing particularly crazy going on, it's just a magical place to sit and watch. We're so fortunate that these beavers will go about their business even though there are humans watching. My tripod is set up about 10 feet away from the edge of the pond. And I just love that these beavers go about their business close enough that we can hear and see everything they're up to. And it also gives me the opportunity to catch it on film so I can share it with those of you who aren't fortunate enough to have a friendly beaver family near your home. You'll see that she gets startled here in a second. She was floating in this little channel when a young man ran up with his phone out to take a picture, and she did not like the sudden movement. The beavers certainly are okay with us if we sit quietly and watch them, but any unexpected movement, especially quick movement and nearby, is going to cause them to flee for their own safety, and it's good. I mean, they're comfortable being watched respectfully and quietly, but they still need to be safe. So it's good that they react. Anyways, the next clip here, there were these two young beavers swimming side by side and hanging out together. So I just filmed to see what they were up to. So these two started grazing on the grass at the far edge of the pond from where we were standing. My little camera has pretty good zoom though, so we were able to watch a bit of the action as they chew on some green grass. After one of them swam away, this one stuck around and continued to sniff around in the side of the pond, looking for something that she thought would make a little snack. Meanwhile, a different beaver had swam out and brought a little twig with them and set up not too far from where we were, so I was able to get a good head-on view as she chewed on some osier dogwood bark. Mama Beaver was back out of the lodge. This is probably 10 or 15 minutes after she went into the lodge from the first clip of this video. Wasn't sure where she was going next, but fortunately she zipped over and went right inside the food channel that is just below where my tripod was set up. So we were basically directly over her as she sniffed around in the channel looking for something to eat. They've sort of dug this little channel into the side of the pond, and there's a tunnel that goes right underneath the ground where they use as an emergency escape and also to store food. So she found a stick and she's gonna sit on shore and eat it. The camera will get a little shaky here because I decided to move my tripod, because if I hadn't, there was gonna be a little bush in the way of where I wanted to film next. So while I'm trying to level my tripod and focus here, the camera's gonna jump around a bit. My apologies. So for the next while, these two just were sitting and eating, and then when they finished what they were eating, they slowly made their way onto the shore to sniff around and see if there was anything else to eat. A few hours earlier that day, there had been a huge windstorm and also a thunderstorm, and lots of branches and debris seemed to be laying around the edge of the pond, which I assume just blew in. So they were sniffing around looking for things to eat, and you'll see them head up on shore and look for food shortly here. that big red branch is from a red osier dogwood tree. That's actually a branch that Edgar had found. He had found a couple of them nearby and decided to throw them down to the pond. I was actually surprised the beavers ignored that big branch, because at least the ones that I watch in the river really like that dogwood. So I was surprised that she sniffed around looking for other things and ignored the dogwood branch. Although you'll see later in the video, she does decide to take that branch for some food. Once again, I had to move my tripod because as Mama Beaver moved further up the hill, I got a tree in my way, so I had to zip around to the other side of the tree so I could film her. The other one is still sitting there. You can see it's starting to get darker. The pond is a darker color as it loses light. You'll see these yellowish gold white reflections in the water. What that is up the hill from the Beaver Pond is the Royal University Hospital Parkade, and it has a number of lights on the outside of the building, and they reflect off the pond. I find it very beautiful when the lights reflecting off the pond, especially when there's ripples, because the colors kind of become a kaleidoscope. Here we get another look at Mama Beaver's orange teeth. If you're a regular viewer of mine, you know that I love the orange teeth. when this beaver swims away in a couple of seconds, you'll see the cool impact of the ripples and the reflection of the light as she moves through where the light was reflecting. But Mama Beaver is sticking around for now. This next couple of minutes is just Mama Beaver continuing to graze on the green grass. She loves grass. And so I just kept the camera rolling as she grazed. In a bit here, I zoomed in a little closer, although now that it's getting dark, the zooming in doesn't give necessarily the best picture. It won't bother them if you walk by. Here you get a good look at all the lights that are reflecting off of the Royal University Hospital, and you can see one of the other beavers is swimming out to see what Mama's up to. And this beaver checks in and hangs out with Mama for a little bit. And this will be the last clip of the evening because it's really starting to get dark now, and at a certain point it's too dark to catch anything on film. It's just incredible to sit at night and watch these beavers float around as it's getting dark. It's so peaceful and serene. Last night I actually sat and stayed for another 2 hours after it got dark just to listen to the beavers and watch. And here you'll see finally one of the beavers decided to take that dogwood branch that Edgar had brought for them. There you have it. That was my Friday night with the Beaver family. I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.